This particular engine was removed from a 1967 Cougar XR7 in 1987, so has not really been touched or operated in that time. It is a 351 Cleveland that is configured in the Cobra Jet style with a cam specialized for the Cobra Jet, and is in fairly visually rough shape, but should be mechanically sound. So here's the motor with a majority of the pumps and other things removed. It's stripped down to essentially what they call the short block. What you're looking at is a 1970 Boss 351 Cleveland. The way we can tell what it is, if it's a Boss version, one of the first indications is basically here we can see this stock Ford. You can see the Ford logo right there. You can see the stock number right here, and this is an aluminum intake manifold that is specific only to this particular engine. The other things we can tell right off the bat are this number here, this indication. See that number 4? That number 4 means it's a 4V or 4-barrel engine. That will show up on all of the heads. You can see on the other head here we have a 4 as well. The other thing that is special to this particular engine is what are called quench heads, and those are very high compression heads, usually above 10-to-1, depending on what kind of piston is used and what kind of modification to the heads has taken place. I'm going to show you a couple of indicators showing what kind of features this particular motor has. As you can see, I'm pointing to the number 4. That means that this is a 4V quench type combustion chamber at 11-to-1 compression ratio. As you can see, there are nuts on top of the rocker arms that allow for it to be adjustable. This particular engine does not have solid lifters, but it could easily be converted to a solid lifter cam because it has all of the existing features. So here we are at the front of the engine, Boss 351 Cleveland. It has a dual link timing chain, and that is now not really showing anywhere. This is a low mileage engine, so we're pretty much ready to start putting it all back together again. We're going to begin by replacing the cover plate that goes over what they call the timing cover, that goes over the protective area around the timing chain, and then of course we'll be doing the harmonic balancer and a water pump and a whole series of other things. Okay, so we've got everything prepped. The whole entire motor is now ready to be reassembled. We've got all of the surfaces are all buffed out. For the valve covers, we have studs. We have studs for the oil pan as well. So everything's ready. Let's start putting this guy back together. We now have the correct valve covers, which indicate the type of 351 that we have, as well as the stock Ford valve cover nuts. So now we pretty much are stock all the way through. So now we have the water pump installed. We have the harmonic balancer installed. We've placed the timing cover plate behind both the water pump as well as the harmonic balancer. We've got the temperature sensor in place. And we also have the thermostat low housing, as well as the thermostat that's inside installed. So at this point we're ready to go, and we're ready to install the front end of the accessory section of the motor, which is the alternator and other related parts. So we'll be doing that next. All right, here you see the completed assembly of the front section, which includes the pulley for the harmonic balancer, the pulley for the water pump, as well as the new chrome alternator. So basically this is the majority of the engine. This is about as much as we want to construct on this particular motor before we physically put it in the engine compartment. But at this point, we are ready to begin phase 2, which would be to start labeling all of the hoses and everything that connect from the old vehicle into this new motor.